Did you know that over 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 will experience a mini stroke, and nearly half of them won't even realize it happened? That's right. In fact, approximately 240,000 Americans experience a mini stroke every year, and nearly half of these episodes go completely unrecognized, according to a study published in the journal Stroke. These silent attacks, known medically as transient ischemic attacks, are taking time bombs. They often come with subtle, fleeting symptoms that most people ignore or chalk up to aging or fatigue. But here's the terrifying part: around 1 in 5 people who suffer a TIA will go on to have a full-blown stroke within 90 days, and most of those happen within just 2 days of the warning sign. Think about that. A tiny episode today could mean a devastating, life-altering stroke tomorrow. That's why it's absolutely critical to recognize these signs the moment they happen. Many strokes are your body's final warning sign, and missing them can literally be the difference between walking and being wheelchair bound or worse. But here is the good news: there are 8 specific signs that, if you catch early enough, you can drastically reduce your risk. In fact, stay with us until the end, because sign number 1 is the most crucial, most easily overlooked, and it could save your life. Plus, we're going to reveal 3 powerful foods that can actually help prevent strokes before they even happen. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Sign number 8: unexpected dizziness or balance problems. When an elderly person suddenly experiences spinning sensations, unsteadiness, or difficulty keeping their balance, many immediately attribute it to just getting older, or perhaps a side effect of medication. This dangerous misinterpretation could be missing a critical min stroke warning sign. The dizziness associated with a TIA is particularly disorienting and often comes with no apparent trigger, unlike the occasional lightheadedness that might happen when standing up too quickly. Many stroke-related dizziness frequently persists and may make walking or even standing safely nearly impossible. The sensation has been described as feeling like the room is spinning or being on a boat in rough waters, even when perfectly still. What makes this symptom so insidious is its similarity to other conditions like inner ear infections, medication side effects, or benign positional vertigo. The key difference lies in the context and accompanying symptoms. When dizziness occurs alongside other stroke warning signs, even briefly, it demands immediate attention. Many elderly patients later diagnosed with having experienced a min-stroke report that they had dismissed days of intermittent dizziness as nothing serious. Another crucial distinction is that vertigo from inner ear issues often improves with certain head movements or positions, while mini stroke dizziness typically doesn't respond to positional changes. This symptom is particularly dangerous because balance problems significantly increase fall risk, which carries its own severe complications for elderly individuals. If you notice a loved one suddenly grabbing furniture for stability, appearing unsteady, or complaining that the room is spinning, especially if these symptoms appear suddenly, don't wait to see if it passes. These balance disruptions occur because the stroke affects the cerebellum, or brainstem, areas responsible for coordination and spatial orientation, and getting medical attention quickly could prevent permanent damage to these crucial brain regions. Sign number 7: vision changes. Vision changes that appears suddenly can be one of the most alarming yet frequently misinterpreted signs of a mini stroke. These visual disturbances can manifest in several ways: sudden blurring of vision, temporary blindness in one eye, often described as a curtain coming down over the eye, seen double, or even losing peripheral vision on one side. What makes this symptom Particularly deceptive is how commonly it's attributed to other causes. Eye fatigue needing new glasses or just getting older. Many elderly individuals don't immediately connect vision problems with stroke risk, yet the connection is direct and significant. The visual disruptions occur because blood flow to the visual cortex or optic nerve is temporarily compromised, unlike gradual vision changes from conditions like cataracts or macular degeneration. Many stroke vision problems appear suddenly and often affect only one eye or one side of the visual field. A particularly distinctive characteristic is the amaurosis flax or fleeting blindness, where vision in one eye becomes temporarily darkened or grayed out as if a shade has been pulled down. This symptom might last only minutes, but its significance cannot be overstated. Another crucial difference between stroke-related vision problems and ordinary eye issues is that many stroke visual disturbances rarely cause pain in the eye itself. They also tend to resolve completely within minutes to hours, which unfortunately leads many people to dismiss them once vision returns to normal. What most don't realize is that approximately 25% of people who experience vision-related TIA symptoms will have a full-blown stroke within 90 days if they don't receive proper preventative treatment. If you or someone you care for experiences sudden, unexplained changes in vision, even if they seem to improve, quickly treat it as a medical emergency. Remember that the temporary nature of these symptoms doesn't indicate their seriousness has passed. Rather, it represents a critical warning that demands immediate attention. Sign number 6. Number 6, sudden confusion or trouble understanding. A frightening but often overlooked sign of a mini stroke is the sudden onset of confusion or difficulty comprehending normal conversations or situations. This isn't the occasional forgetfulness that many associate with aging. It's a marked, abrupt change in mental status that can manifest in various ways. Someone experiencing this symptom might suddenly struggle to follow the plot of a TV show they regularly watch, have trouble understanding simple instructions, or become confused about their location or the current date. What makes this symptom particularly dangerous is how easily it can be mistaken for dementia, general cognitive decline, or simply having a senior moment. Family members often notice something seems off but can't quite place what's wrong. The person might seem disoriented, ask repetitive questions, or have trouble recognizing familiar faces or objects. They might begin a sentence normally but trail off into confusion or start using incorrect words without realizing it. The hallmark characteristic differentiating this from cognitive decline is its sudden onset, while dementia progresses gradually over months or years. Mini stroke confusion appears within minutes. Another critical distinction is that mini stroke confusion often resolves completely within 24 hours, though damage can still occur even when symptoms disappear. This temporary nature actually increases danger as many people decide not to seek medical attention once the confusion clears, not realizing they've experienced a serious warning sign of an impending major stroke. If someone suddenly seems unable to process information they normally would understand, appears disoriented, or shows uncharacteristic confusion, consider it a medical emergency. This symptom occurs because blood flow is temporarily restricted to cognitive processing areas of the brain, and quick medical intervention can restore proper circulation before permanent damage occurs. Even if the confusion passes quickly, medical evaluation remains essential, as approximately 40% of individuals who experience cognitive symptoms during a mini stroke will have a full stroke within a year if preventative measures aren't taken. Sign number 5. Headache. A severe headache that seems to appear out of nowhere might be more than just a painful inconvenience. It could be signaling a mini stroke. This isn't your typical tension headache or migraine. Survivors often describe it as the worst headache of my life, or like a thunderclap inside the head. What makes this symptom particularly challenging to identify is how easily we dismiss headaches as normal, everyday occurrences. Many elderly individuals even consider frequent headaches a natural part of aging, which couldn't be further from the truth. The distinguishing factor here is the abruptness and severity. A mini-stroke headache typically reaches maximum intensity within seconds to minutes. Unlike migraines, which generally build up over hours, the pain might also be concentrated in unusual locations, such as focused on one side of the head or behind one eye. Another telltale difference is that medications that normally relieve your headaches may have little to no effect on a headache caused by a mini stroke. This type of headache may also be accompanied by nausea, vomiting, or sensitivity to light, symptoms that overlap with migraines, which explains why so many strokes go undetected. If you or someone you know experiences a sudden explosive headache, unlike anything felt before, especially if they're over 65, treat it as a medical emergency. Time is absolutely critical, and acting quickly during this warning sign could prevent a major stroke from occurring days or weeks later. The window for effective intervention closes rapidly, so never adopt a wait-and-see approach with this symptom. Sign number 4, numbness or weakness, especially on one side. When numbness or weakness suddenly develops, particularly when it affects just one side of the body, it represents one of the most recognizable warning signs of a mini stroke. This symptom can manifest as a tingling sensation, complete numbness or weakness in the face, arm, or leg, predominantly on one side of the body. The one-sided nature of this symptom is crucial as it reflects how strokes typically affect only one hemisphere of the brain at a time. What makes this symptom particularly dangerous is how easily it can be misinterpreted as something less serious. Many elderly individuals attribute sudden numbness to having slept wrong, pinched a nerve, or experiencing arthritis pain. Others might notice weakness in their hand and think they've simply overexerted themselves or are experiencing normal muscle fatigue. The facial manifestation of this symptom often includes drooping on one side of the face, particularly noticeable around the mouth or eye. A simple test involves asking the person to smile or show their teeth. An uneven smile with drooping on one side strongly suggests a stroke. Related issue for arm or leg weakness. Watch for unexplained difficulty with normal tasks like holding a cup, writing, or maintain balance while walking. One particularly telling sign is when someone suddenly begins to drag one foot when walking, something they weren't doing just hours earlier. The key distinguishing feature between many stroke-related numbness and other causes is the sudden onset without explanation or injury, while conditions like compressed nerves develop gradually or follow specific activities. Many stroke symptoms appear out of the blue. Additionally, many stroke symptoms typically affect an entire side of the body rather than just a specific joint or limited area. Another red flag is when numbness or weakness resolves completely within 24 hours. Counterintuitively, this temporary nature actually confirms the likelihood of a TIA rather than ruling it out. If these symptoms appear, even if they begin to improve, immediate medical attention is essential. Sign number 3, unexplained sudden fatigue. An overwhelming wave of exhaustion that comes on suddenly and can't be explained by normal causes represents a frequently missed but critically important warning sign of a mini stroke. This isn't the typical tiredness that comes from a poor night's sleep or a busy day. It's a profound, debilitating fatigue that feels like hitting a wall and can make even The simplest activities seem impossible. What makes this symptom particularly dangerous is how easily it's dismissed. Elderly individuals and their caregivers often attribute sudden fatigue to age, medication side effects, or simply overdoing it. In reality, this extreme exhaustion can signal that the brain is experiencing a serious crisis as blood flow becomes restricted to certain areas. Stroke-related fatigue has some distinctive characteristics that set it apart from normal tiredness. It often appears alongside a feeling of generalized weakness rather than sleepiness, making the person feel as though their entire body has become extraordinarily heavy. Many survivors describe it as feeling like moving through molasses or as if gravity has become stronger. Another distinctive feature is how this fatigue doesn't improve with rest, at least not immediately. While someone who is tired from exertion will feel better after sitting down for a while, many stroke fatigue persists regardless of rest. Research has shown that unexplained fatigue preceded a major stroke in approximately 40% of elderly patients studied, yet most never connected this symptom to their cardiovascular risk. The fatigue can sometimes be accompanied by a sense of foreboding or feeling that something is wrong, which the person may not be able to articulate clearly. So, if someone suddenly appears unusually tired, seems to lack the energy to complete normal activities, or complains that they just don't feel right along with overwhelming fatigue, don't wait to see if they feel better after resting. Sign number 2. Speech changes when speech suddenly becomes slurred, garbled, inappropriate, or difficult to produce. It serves as one of the most recognizable and concerning signs of a mini stroke. This symptom often manifests in several ways: slurring words as if intoxicated, using incorrect words without realizing it, being unable to form sentences despite knowing what you want to say, or speaking in a manner that makes no sense to listeners. What makes speech changes particularly alarming is how dramatically they can alter communication in someone who was speaking normally just moments before. The medical term for this condition is dysarthria, for slurred speech, or aphasia, for difficulty using or understanding language, and both represent serious neurological disruptions. This symptom occurs because the stroke is affecting language centers in the brain, primarily located in the left hemisphere for most people, unlike the gradual speech changes that might occur with conditions like Parkinson's disease. Many stroke speech changes appear abruptly and can be quite dramatic. Family members often report their loved one suddenly sounded drunk or wasn't making any sense at all during a mini stroke episode. Perhaps most dangerously, the person experiencing these speech difficulties may be entirely unaware of how their speech sounds to others, making it crucial for those around them to recognize the significance of the change. Another distinguishing feature of many stroke-related speech changes is that they often resolve completely within minutes to hours. This temporary nature is characteristic of many strokes, but doesn't diminish their seriousness. In fact, it confirms the diagnosis and emphasizes the urgent need for medical intervention before a more permanent stroke occurs. The famous fast stroke recognition tool includes speech as one of its central components. Face arms speech time, highlighting how significant this symptom is in stroke identification. So if you notice someone suddenly developing unusual speech patterns, ask them to repeat a simple sentence like, "The sky is blue in Cincinnati." Difficulty with this task warrants immediate medical attention, even if the speech begins to normalize. Sign number 1. Memory loss and disorientation. The most critical and dangerous sign of a mini stroke, yet paradoxically the most frequently overlooked, is experiencing sudden, brief episodes of memory loss and disorientation that come on without warning, and then seemingly resolve completely these episodes sometimes, called transient global amnesia when severe can appear as moments where the elderly person suddenly doesn't know where they're, how they got there, or what they were doing. What makes this symptom particularly alarming is that the person typically returns to normal function within minutes to hours, leading them and their loved ones to breathe a sigh of relief and decide against seeking medical attention. A potentially fatal mistake. These memory episodes differ significantly from the gradual memory decline seen in dementia. A min-stroke memory event happens suddenly, like a switch being flipped rather than developing incrementally over months or years. During these episodes, the person might appear confused about basic facts, like the current year, their location, or even temporarily fail to recognize familiar people. They might repeat the same questions over and over, not remembering they just asked and received an answer. What's particularly distinctive about these episodes is that the person often has no recollection of the event afterward. They may remember events before and after the episode, but have a complete blank spot during the time they were experiencing symptoms. This creates a dangerous situation where the person themselves may not even be aware anything concerning happened, relying entirely on observers to recognize the significance of what occurred. These memory episodes happen because blood flow is temporarily restricted to the hippocampus and temporal lobes, which are brain regions essential for forming new memories and maintaining orientation. Studies show that approximately 50% of people who experience these distinct memory episodes will have a major stroke within 1 year if preventative treatment isn't initiated. So if you notice a loved one suddenly becoming confused about their surroundings, unable to recall how they arrived somewhere, repeatedly asking the same questions, or temporarily failing to recognize familiar people or places, even if they appear completely fine afterward, seek immediate medical attention. Making this connection could quite literally save their life, as these episodes represent the brain's final desperate warning that a major stroke may be imminent. Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.